So, what on earth does a head of lettuce have in common with a dramatic movie scene? I know, it sounds kind of weird, right? But today we're going to dig into this amazing connection between two totally different worlds, and we're going to uncover the hidden philosophies that shape them both. Let's start out in the field and see where this story takes us.
We've all seen images just like this one, right? A beautiful, peaceful, organic farm. It looks so simple, so natural. But here's the thing. Behind this quiet picture is a whole web of really complex decisions, and every single one is guided by a powerful underlying philosophy.
And that right there, that's our first hidden world, the philosophy of organic farming. And trust me, it is so much more than just not using chemicals. It's a whole worldview.
According to IFOM, that's the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, this whole philosophy is built on 4 pillars. First, there's health, the idea that healthy soil makes healthy plants, which makes healthy animals and people. Then you've got ecology, which is all about working with living systems, not fighting them. And this is all tied together with fairness and how we treat each other, and care for the planet we're going to leave behind. See, these aren't just suggestions. They're a blueprint for a totally connected system.
So the crucial point is this. The goal is to create a system that's balanced, one that can sustain itself. It's about cooperating with nature's built-in logic instead of just trying to control it. And that fundamental idea, well, it leads to some very practical and very difficult choices.
Let's just zoom in on a single moment that perfectly captures this whole tension: the harvest. A farmer has to decide exactly how they're going to get their crops from the field onto your plate.
And right away, you're at a fork in the road. Do you go the traditional route with hand harvesting, a method that's been around for centuries and really prioritizes that human touch? Or do you go with modern mechanical harvesting, a system built for a world that demands huge scale and incredible speed? These two paths lead to very, very different places.
And this is where you really see the dilemma, right? When you harvest by hand, you get amazing selection, you're only picking what's perfectly ripe, and there's almost no damage, which is great for delicate stuff like berries. But man, is it slow and expensive. The machines? They're the total opposite. Unbelievably fast, super efficient for these huge farms, but they can bruise the produce, and they just can't tell a perfectly ripe tomato from one that needs another day on the vine.
So it's this fundamental trade-off. What do you prioritize? Is it the careful, selective quality that only comes from a human touch? Or is it the pure efficiency and scale that only technology can give you? It's a choice every single farmer has to make. Okay, now hang on to that thought. Quality versus scale, care versus efficiency, because we're about to jump into a totally different world where that exact same tension exists. We're leaving the sunny fields and heading into a dark film set. You know, cinematography isn't just pointing a camera and hitting record. No, it's the art of making deliberate choices. Every single decision, where you put a light, how bright it is, what color it is, it's all designed to guide your eye and completely control the emotional feeling of a scene using light and shadow. And this just says it all, doesn't it? Nothing you see in a well-crafted film is ever an accident. Every single piece of the lighting is designed to make a character pop or hide a secret in the shadows and to shape how you feel about the story. It's all part of this bigger artistic plan. So how do they actually do it? Let's take a look at the basic tools and the philosophies that cinematographers use to literally paint with light. Okay, so the most fundamental technique is called three-point lighting. First, you've got your key light, that's your main, brightest light source. Then the fill light comes in from the side to soften any harsh shadows the key light made. And finally, the backlight hits the subject from behind to create this little glowing edge, which makes them pop from the background and gives the whole image depth. It's like the basic grammar of lighting a scene. Now, that three-point setup, that's like the basic grammar. But great art is about way more than just grammar. It's about philosophy. And to really get the core philosophy of lighting, we actually have to look back at the farm for just a second. See these different ways of tilling the soil? Some are about brute force. Others are about working with the soil's natural structure. And that idea, working with the built-in logic of a system, that is the crucial link. And that brings us to this really cool philosophy in cinematography called motivated lighting. This is when all the light in a shot seems to be coming from a source that's actually in the scene. You know, a window, a desk lamp, a campfire. The lighting follows the logic of the scene, just like organic farming follows the logic of the soil. Now, within that philosophy, there's this whole spectrum of style. On one hand, you've got soft lighting. It uses big, diffused lights to make these gentle, feathery shadows. It feels really natural, maybe even a little dreamy. And then on the total opposite end, you've got hard lighting. It uses small, direct lights to create super high contrast and sharp, dark shadows. It feels dramatic, intense. It's what they use in old detective movies to make everything feel suspicious.
And if you think this is just some artsy idea, get this. The legendary cinematographer Roger Deakins, this guy is a master. He says that whenever he sees light coming from some random illogical source, some unmotivated light, it just completely breaks the illusion for him. It pulls him right out of the movie. For the best in the business, authenticity is everything.
Okay, so we've been to the farm, we've been on the film set. Now it's time to finally connect all the dots and see how these two worlds are really just reflections of each other.
So here it is. Connection number 1. That gentle, selective approach of hand harvesting is just like the philosophy of motivated lighting. Both methods choose to work with the natural logic of their environment, whether that's the ripening cycle of a plant or the light coming from a window. They both value authenticity and careful selection above all else.
And these images just capture that spirit perfectly, don't they? It's a philosophy of partnership, really. It's about listening to the environment and responding with care and precision, instead of just trying to force a result.
And then you flip it. On the other side of the coin, you have this perfect parallel between mechanical harvesting and that hard, stylized lighting. They're both powerful tools that impose a style on their environment to get a very specific outcome, whether that's maximum efficiency on the farm or maximum drama in a scene.
So here's the big takeaway. These aren't just isolated choices in separate fields. They are expressions of the same fundamental conflicts. These big questions we see everywhere. It's that delicate balance between selection and scale, between naturalism and stylization, the human touch versus machine speed. It all comes down to one thing. Do you work with a system, or do you impose upon it?
And that's the really cool part. This pattern of choice, it's not just on farms and film sets, it's everywhere. It's in how we design buildings, how we write software, how we teach our kids, how we run our businesses. Now that you have this new way of looking at things, the only question is, where else will you see it?